Hey there. So you're setting up a solar system, or maybe just a backup power system, and you hit that one big question: what size inverter do I actually need? It can be weirdly complicated, right? Well, today we're going to make it super, super simple. I mean, let's be real. Picking the wrong inverter isn't just confusing, it's a seriously expensive mistake to make. But you don't need to worry about that, because by the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly how to get it right the first time, every time. I'm going to walk you through a really simple 5-step process. This is going to take all the guesswork and all the anxiety right out of the equation. You ready? Okay, let's dive in. All right, first things first. Step 1. Before we can even think about inverters, we have to figure out how much power you're actually going to use. This right here, this is the foundation for everything else we're about to do. So I want you to just picture it in your head, or hey, grab a piece of paper. Make a list of every single thing you plan to have running at the exact same time. We're talking the lights, the fridge, your TV, your laptop, everything. So for our guide here, let's just use a pretty common household setup as an example. We've got about 10 LED lights, a refrigerator, a laptop, a TV, and a fan. Now, if you're wondering where to get these numbers for your own stuff, just look on the appliance itself or in its manual. It's always listed in watts. Okay, so we add all of those up, and for our example, the total comes to 625 watts. Now, this is our baseline. It's the absolute bare minimum amount of power we need. But, and this is a really big but, we are not done yet. Not even close. And this is where we get to the really critical part, steps 2 and 3. See, that 625-watt number isn't enough on its own. We have to account for 2 incredibly important things: a safety buffer and power surges. This is where so many people get tripped up. Here's a piece of advice you absolutely have to remember. You never ever want to run your inverter at 100% capacity all the time. Think about it like redlining your car's engine 24/7. It's just not good for it. It's inefficient, it stresses all the parts, and it's gonna dramatically shorten its life. So the first thing we do is build in a nice, comfortable safety buffer. So let's do the math. It's easy. We take our 625 watts, and to add that 30% buffer, we just multiply by 1.3, and boom. We get our new target, 812.5 watts. That gives us the breathing room we need for the inverter to run comfortably. Next up, step 3, we've got to think about surges. This is a huge one. Anything with a motor, like that refrigerator in our example, needs this massive jolt of extra power just to get going. A fridge that normally runs at 200 watts might need, say, 600 watts for just a split second to kick its compressor on. Your inverter has to be able to handle that spike without breaking a sweat. Okay, deep breath. This next part is where things can look a little technical, but I promise you, it's actually really simple once you see it. We've got to solve the little puzzle of watts versus VA, because most inverters are actually sold in VA, not watts. The secret to this whole thing is something called power factor. Now, don't let the name scare you. Think of it like a frothy beer. The VA is the whole glass, foam included. But the watts, that's the actual beer you get to drink, the usable power. In most home setups, we can just use a standard, reliable power factor of 0.8. And the conversion? It could not be simpler. It's just one little bit of division. You take our wattage number, that 812.5 watts we calculated with the safety buffer, and you just divide it by our power factor, which is 0.8. That is it. That's the whole calculation. And when we do that little bit of math, we get our answer, 1016 volt amps, or VA. That number right there, that is the magic number. That is the minimum VA rating we need to be looking for when we go shopping. We're in the home stretch now. Let's get to our 5th and final step, where we pull all these numbers together and figure out our final, concrete recommendation. Okay, hang on. One final, crucial detail before we put a bow on this. Your inverter's voltage has to perfectly match your battery system's voltage. You can't mix and match. As a general rule of thumb, small systems use 12 volts, medium-sized ones use 24, and then the really big setups, over 3,000 watts, they'll use a 48-volt system. It's a simple matching game, but it's absolutely vital. So let's put it all together. Our calculation told us we need a minimum of 1016 VA. Now inverters are sold in standard sizes, so we're just going to round up to the next common size, which is probably going to be a 1200 VA or 1.2 kVA model. We also know for a fact it needs to handle a surge of over 600 watts for that fridge. And of course, its voltage has to match our batteries. See that? A clear, confident, actionable answer. And here's the best part, the real key takeaway. This isn't just about finding the answer for our one little example. The most important thing is that you now have a simple, repeatable process that you can use for your own unique setup, no matter what you're trying to power.
You've done it. You've gone from being confused to being confident in just a few simple steps. No more guessing games. So I guess there's only one real question left to ask. Now that you know exactly how to do it, what are you going to power first?